In my inaugural address on the 21st of March 2025, when I assumed the office as the 5th President of the Republic of Namibia, I emphasized that the SWAPO Party Election Manifesto, the party political program, and the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia shall be my guiding instrument throughout my presidency. And this document relies also on recognizing others. I really have to recognize our former Deputy Prime Minister, Comrade Mutorwa. You might further recall that during my first cabinet address on the 21st of March 2025, I made it categorically clear that the oath of office that I took on Inauguration Day mandated me to speak and take decisions on behalf of Namibian people and to lead the Namibian development agenda. Therefore, I am here today to launch the 6th National Development Plan, NDP6, and to account to the nation on the steps taken as well as notable achievements attained during the first 3 months of the 8th administration. Our inclusive development agenda seeks to uplift the social well-being and improve the quality of life for all Namibians. One of the key objectives of the concluded NDP5 was to escape the middle income trap. International bodies, in particular, the Bretton Woods institutions, had classified Namibia as an upper middle income country based on the income per capita. This classification was floated in principle as it overlooked the swing distribution of resources and undermined the Namibian government's ability to access developmental grant funding and affordable financing. In most recent reclassification of Namibia, therefore, to a lower middle income country on the 1st of July 2025 is deemed more responsive to the reality of the structural imbalance of our economy and large inequality gap. Based on this revised classification, Namibia will be more eligible to access grant funding and financing instruments on more affordable terms. This is beneficial to our developmental agenda and ambition to foster inclusive growth and shared prosperity. But this does not mean that there are no challenges to the reclassification. Therefore, we must commit ourselves to hard work and grow our economy to take our people out of poverty. With only 4.5 years remaining for Vision 2030, this NDP6 is the final installment aiming to achieve our objectives of transforming Namibia into a developed and industrialized nation. The formulation of NDP6 has been informed by Vision 2030 and its mid-term review, the NDP5 Terminal Report, SWAPO Party Manifesto Implementation Plan, regional consultations, as well as guiding international development frameworks including the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, African Union Agenda 2063, and the SADC Vision 2050, among others. It must be pointed out that our unemployment rate is high because, among other drivers, our industrial capacity remains limited. It is for this reason that NDP6 aims to propel the country towards an advanced industrialized stage, placing due policy emphasis on minor resource beneficiation and value addition to stimulate economic growth and development. With the Namibian population currently just over 3 million people and expected to reach 3.5 million by 2030, predominantly comprising of young adults of working age. This youth population presents an opportunity and not a burden for the Namibian economy. Under the theme, fostering economic growth, inclusiveness, and the resilience for quality sustainable development, the NDP6 is designed to promote sustainable economic growth and address the underlying challenges of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. The NDP6 has been structured into 4 pillars, 9 thematic areas, and 47 focus areas. The 4 pillars are: A, economic growth, transformation, and resilience; B, human development and community resilience; C, environmental sustainability; and D, good governance and effective public service delivery. Fellow Namibians, our developmental agenda is shaped by the National Planning Commission, which finalized the NDP6 through an inclusive and consultative process and approved by Cabinet on the 25th June 2025. The NDP6 will now serve as the blueprint policy document for the 8th administration, considering that the SWAPO Party Manifesto Implementation Plan has been mainstreamed into that plan. The Implementation and Monitoring and Evaluation Plan for NDP6 is also in front of us. Namibia has embarked on a bold transformation in governance anchored on accountability, coordination, and effective service delivery that puts people first. Our first 3 months marked a decisive shift towards a governance culture that is strategic, responsive, and performance drive. The bottom line, why I'm here today, is also to update you on the key achievement attained during our first 3 months in office. The report will center on 1, leadership and governance; 2, policy priorities; 3, legislative reforms. Under leadership and governance, I appointed the Vice President, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, cabinet ministers and deputy ministers on the 22nd March 2025. An inclusive and effective cabinet of 14 ministers and 7 deputy ministers. And all 14 regional governors have now been appointed and have assumed office after having attended a 2-day compulsory orientation workshop. Then we come towards activating citizen-centered government. A new performance culture has taken root across the public service. Ministers have been directed to align their performance agreement with NDP6. The process of signing this agreement will commence this month, July. Cabinet members are committed to work unreservedly in meeting and exceeding the commitments made, guided by my 5 leadership values of pragmatism, accountability, integrity, meritocracy, and inclusivity. PIAM will be a pointer as we navigate through 5 years of our mandate, compelled with the calling of unity of purpose and one heart and one mind. Fellow Namibians, Namibia is part of the international community. As per SADC tradition, when newly elected presidents undertake introductory visit to neighboring countries within 90 days to cement bilateral relations. Accordingly, I have visited some of my counterparts in Angola, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Tanzania, and South Africa. I have also attended the US-Africa Business Summit in Luanda, Angola, to promote Namibia's preferred investment destination while engaging the US government on the trade tariff and prospective project of investment. Furthermore, Namibia hosted the first Commonwealth Trade Ministers meeting and Commonwealth Business Summit from 16 to 20th June 2025. In this context, Namibia became the first country among the 56 Commonwealth countries to ever host such a meeting outside the United Kingdom. The Business Summit served as a platform to strengthen public-private dialogue, partnership, and unlock trade and investment opportunity. Given the success of this meeting, the government has decided to institutionalize an annual business summit in Namibia in collaboration with the Commonwealth Secretariat and other international business organizations. On the 30th June 2025, Namibia launched the first shipment under the African Continental Free Trade Area, successfully exporting a shipment of 40,000 tons of salt to Nigeria and Cameroon, opening up a new frontier for trade on the continent. Thank you very much. Namibia also successfully hosted and concluded a state visit by Mr. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, where our two countries entered into 5 cooperation agreements in the field of health and medicine, technology, agriculture, entrepreneurship, and trade. On institutional reform and innovation, the Office of the Prime Minister launched innovation boot camps in Karas and Hardap region, applying design thinking to generate homegrown solutions. These efforts will be expanded to other regions. In pursuit of smarter public service, Namibia has forged a strategic partnership to co-develop a national one-stop shop model that brings integrated government service closer to the community. On the implementation of key policy priorities, in my inaugural State of Nation address, I outlined 7 identified priority areas or sectors and 8 critical enablers. The 7 identified priority sectors are agriculture, sports, youth empowerment, quality education and training, creative industry, quality health and social welfare, and land, housing, and sanitation. Agriculture, mining, energy, oil and gas, tourism, water, fishery, and transport and logistics are the most critical enabling sectors areas. Let me now take you through the specific programs and progress made during the reporting period in each of the priority sectors and enablers. Number 1, agriculture. All 9 green schemes under the Ministry of Agriculture, Fishery, Water and Land Reform, covering a total of 5,600 hectares of irrigable land, remains operational. As for this reporting period, and I want Namibians please to listen, you can go and see yourself. As of this reporting period, 3,403 hectares are actively under cultivation. With harvesting currently underway, the aim is food security. By June 2025, the green scheme produced 9,947 tons of maize, 300 tons of potatoes, and 39 tons of sunflower. The identification of suitable land for the establishment of super farmers has commenced, as well as the selection of appropriate strategic partners to drive this initiative. The government is in the process of operationalizing the Vungu Vungu dairy farmer in Kavango East region, and debushing has already started. In addition to maintaining operations at existing schemes, we have identified 2 new sites of green scheme development, namely Katima Farm in Zambezi region and Ekoka in Ohangwena region, thereby expanding the footprint of irrigated agriculture. Furthermore, we have successfully acquired farmer region measuring 8,305 hectares in the Omaheke region for resettlement purpose. The Office of the Prime Minister in partnership with the World Food Programme, initiated a food security project on 13 hectares of land in Ochimbinde constituency or Maheke region towards arresting hunger and malnutrition. Following the success of this plot, the initiative will be rolled out to all remaining 13 regions. I'm also pleased to inform the Namibian people that the procurement process for Nekatel Dam irrigation design is under review by the review panel. Furthermore, a seed processing facility has been established with refurbishment underway at Omahenene, Omsat region, and new facility under construction at Katima Mulilo, Zambezi region, and at Katwitwi, Kavango West region. A feasibility study is planned for a combined seed and fertilizer facility under public-private partnership model. As government, we have also activated infant industry protection and improved the seed and fertilizer subsidy scheme. During May to June 2025, the Namibian Correctional Services produced food worth 13.9 million Namibian dollars from food productions at Divundu, Oluno, and Haldap correctional facilities, saving government an amount of 1.6 million Namibian dollars. Livestock value chain are improving, especially for communal, resettled, and emerging farmers. A protocol signed with China on the 8th May 2025 will enable mutton and chicken export. The Line Ministry has introduced a cost-effective model for cattle distribution and continued small stock support. In Ohangwena, 108 goats were distributed to 9 farmers under the revolving scheme during the reporting period, and over 101 million Namibian dollars was disbursed in livestock supporting. By June 2025, Office of Prime Minister have provided budget relief to 1.4 million people, meaning 384,935 households, valued at 1.3 Namibian dollars. A food voucher system now covers 144,930 households via 403 retail across 9 regions, namely Oshana, Komas, Omaheke, Karas, Hardap, Kavango West, Kavango East, Kunene, and Oshkoto regions. Food relief reached 9,184 people across 8 regions, namely Komas, Oshana, Oshkoto, Omsati, Ohangwena, Kunene, Zambezi, and Hardap region. And backlog in food distribution are to be cleared by August 2025. With the expansion of the voucher system and finalization of the flood construction plan. Then Sector 2, which is sports. As of June 2025, all 14 regions had identified at least one site, with 16 sites confirmed in total to establish sports centers of excellence. Coming to CAF category stadium, site selection and assessment for CAF category 2 and 3 stadiums with seat capacity of 10,000 to 30,000 respectively was completed by June 2025. And the Windhoek CAF category 3 independent stadium is progressing as planned with a multidisciplinary team which submitted its feasibility study in February 2025. And construction of CAF category stadium at Enana and Nkurenkuru has commenced, and Mariendal has been confirmed as the third stadium site. Sustainable league support. In support of grassroots development and professional league performance, government is finalizing a funding formula to guide sports sponsorship allocation. Consultation with the Sports Federation were conducted in May 2025, and internal validation of the draft model is underway. The formulation is expected to be finalized by the end of July, with fund disbursement commencing in August 2025. A national call for youth development initiative from the League was launched in May 2025. Africa Union Sports Council Region 5 game. Following Mozambique's withdrawal due to a devastating cyclone, Namibia stepped up to successfully host the Regional 5 Youth Game, which I officially launched on the 5th July 2025. In preparations, we invested $127 million Namibian dollars to urgently refurbish key sports infrastructures in Windhoek and Swakopmund, including facilities at UNAM and Veneta. In the process, 2 netball courts and football stadium, basketball and tennis courts, hostel renovation, and equipment were attended to. Thank you. These swift national efforts not only assured readiness, but also created 955 direct temporary jobs, ranging from supplier to volunteers, interns and drivers, and 699 indirect jobs through service providers and hospitality teams. The renovation of sports facilities for the Region 5 Games was completed within a record time, a commendable effort by all stakeholders involved. Then we come to sector number 3, youth empowerment. The National Youth Fund has been capitalized with $257 million Namibian dollars and be accessed through financial institutions such as the Development Bank of Namibia, Agribank, NAMPOST, and the Environmental Management Fund. Investment Fund. The grant facility from Nasria was secured in May 2025 to improve access to non-collateralized lending for young entrepreneurs. The fund will become operational mid-August 2025. Additional support of 5 million Namibian dollar has been mobilized from NAMBRI towards the National Youth Fund. Namibia also received 33.4 million Namibian dollars under the Global Accelerator 1 program to support youth entrepreneurship and job creation in the biomass sector. Under the Equipment Aid Scheme and the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Fund, over 200 youth-led businesses were selected countrywide for support during the period under review. Beneficiaries include, number 1 or B, 106 MCME who received production equipment and capacity building on the 11th of July 2025. And B, drawn from all 14 regions, 28 youth were trained in gemstone and jewelry processing, 64 in agro-processing standard, and 13 in cosmetics production. New beneficiaries will continue to be identified, and the next call for enterprise support program will be issued in the first week of August 2025 by the Line Ministry. The above are golden opportunities that our youth must exploit without failure. Then we come to entrepreneurial center mentorship support. Efforts are underway to repossess existing industrial park into fully operational entrepreneurial center. The list of viable sites will be finalized before the end of August 2025. Then we come to skill development and apprenticeship. A joint technical committee composing of ministries of education, innovation, sports, art and culture, and finance was established to contribute to coordinate implementation of the youth agricultural cooperative and internship apprenticeship program. And a consolidated national work integrated learning framework is being finalized for cabinet approval following consultation with the Namibian Training Authority, NPC, and tertiary institution. Graduate employment and absorption. Our objective is to place at least 5,000 graduates annually into internship with an 8% post-internship retention rate into formal employment. By June 2025, a total of 734 internship and trainees were facilitated across key public institutions during the reporting period as follows. MICT facilitated 511, of which 22 were placed at NBC, 65 at the ministry itself, 92 at Telcom, 9 at New Era, 23 at NAMPA, and 300 at MTC. B, 61 graduate internships were facilitated by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fishery, Water and Land Reform, and were placed at 3 rural development centers, namely 38 at Ongwediva, 17 at Okashana, and 6 at Ben Hur. Number 3, the Ministry of International Relations and Trade facilitated a total of 162 placements, of which 155 were recruited by the Namibian businesses and 7 were placed on MSC cruise ship, in the ship. I take this opportunity to appreciate those ministries' offices, public enterprise and private sector organizations that have responded to the government's call to offer internship and apprenticeship opportunity to our students and graduates. Please do more, and I call on the others to follow this national good example. Then the next priority, which is the 4th, is quality education and training. The Namibian government is committed to ensure universal access to free, equitable, and quality education and vocational training across Namibia. To fully eliminate tuition fees for students enrolled in public higher education institutions and vocational training center as from the 2026 academic year. To ensure a smooth transition, a national task force of stakeholders was formed, and consultations on admission, financing, institutional designation, and record-keeping regulation are ongoing and set to be concluded by the end of this month, July 2025. In response to this policy reform, the Namibian Student Financial Assistance Fund funding models is under review as the institution is being reintegrated into the line ministry. Funding and quality standard. A funding formula for higher education institutions and TVET was implemented in April 2025 to ensure predictable and equitable resource allocation. In line with the launched minimum standard for higher education in February this year, with implementation now underway across public higher education institutions. On education sector and impact studies, terms of reference are being developed for 2 national studies. 1, a diagnostic assessment of the current state of free basic education, and 2, an impact assessment of Namibia's new school curriculum. Then we go to infrastructure expansion and TVET reform. The construction and bidding process for new schools and hostels is ongoing. TVET reforms are advancing with government restructuring and curriculum expansion in key sectors aimed at addressing regional disparity and improving educational outcome. Operational and capital budget for higher education institutions and TVET centers have been prioritized to sustain quality output. Then priority 5, creative industry. In order to recognize and talent empowerment, towards revitalizing the National Art and Creative Industry Award, the existing National Steering Committee is being revised to incorporate all key stakeholders and to expand its mandate. This process will be concluded by end of August 2025. Creative Industry and Equipment Fund. Draft amendment to the Art Fund Act have been prepared to enable the establishment of the Creative Industry Infrastructure and Equipment Program. The fund is expected to be launched before the end of August 2025, and the fund will support music and visual arts studios, equipments, and materials to enhance local creative productivities. Industry development and job creation. The Ministry of Information and Communication Technology launched the World Music Day and accompanying artist capacity building initiative at Mariendal on the 21st June 2025. During the reporting period, Namibia hosted 16 international film production and supported the 8 local production, together creating over 108 jobs and contributing more than 14 million Namibian dollars to the economy. To bridge the digital divide and enhance broadband access across communities, 9 new network towers are currently under construction in Omaheke, Zambezi, Kavango East, Kavango West, and Kunene region through the Universal Service Fund. Then we come to quality health and social welfare. Significant milestones have been marked in our mission to expand primary health care and deliver quality service to all Namibians, particularly in rural areas. Progress is made in the following area. A, public health campaign have intensified with national rollout of the voluntary HPV vaccine in May 2025 and dissemination of awareness material for malaria. On the 2nd July 2025, the Katutura Health Center launched a decongestion pilot project with extended clinic hours at the 24-hour facilities. From 1st August 2025, the Okuryongava Clinic at Windhoek will also become a 24-hour facility in a move to further, thank you very much, in a move to further decongest the Katutura Health Center and Katutura Intermediate Hospital. C, 7 sites have been identified for the construction of new clinics during this financial year. At Mambushe in Kavango East, yes, Ompunja in Oshana, Okonjatu in Ochuarongo, Onamkulo and Onamafila in Ohangwena, Malengalenga in Zambezi, and Epupa in Kunene. And D, groundbreaking of the Commerce District Hospital in Havana was completed in April 2025 with bulk earth work. Service commenced as well as the primary access road and electrical services. C, to strengthen institutional capacity through human resource, the recruitment of community health workers is ongoing. To date, 604 medical positions have been advertised, with interviews conducted during the reporting period. Number F, 52 undergraduate scholarships for the 2025 academic year have been awarded for various health-related fields to augment local medical specialists and critical skills in the country, with graduation expected in 2030. We are talking about specialized and critical skills. G, 36 ambulances were purchased in June and distributed to all 14 regions. An additional 5 ambulances were donated, 3 by the World Health Organization and 2 by Langhanisch Mine, and procurement of 60 fully equipped mobile health vans, which are essential mobile health clinic, is underway, targeting servicing across all 14 regions, and procurement of 6 new medical transport trucks is planned for this financial year. Then we come to mental health expansion. A mental health rehabilitation center with 48-bed capacity at Rehoboth is being renovated in collaboration with the Ministry of Works and Transport. This center will provide long-term rehabilitation care, thermal therapy, and post-operative recovery, addressing a long-standing service gap. Cost-efficient mechanism for procurement of pharmaceuticals and supply. We have commenced bilateral engagement with the government of Egypt and India towards establishing a transparent procurement system that will enable the government to purchase pharmaceuticals and supply directly from the producer and not through middlemen. Advancing universal health coverage. Namibia Universal Health Coverage policy was officially launched in February 2025. To support digital health implementation network, during the period under review, infrastructures have been expanded to 18 clinics and 5 health centers in the south. Medical infrastructure and pharmaceutical. Cabinet has approved the establishment of a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant at Okahanja under a PP or joint venture initiative. A multi-sectorial team is now seized with the expression of interest for advertisement. A new central medical store is also planned, with tender preparation already initiated, funding secured, and site identified between Katutura and Central Hospital in Windhoek. Then we come to land, housing, and sanitation. Government continue to advance inclusive urban and rural development through the provision of affordable housing. A total of 3,402 housing units are under construction, including the completion of mass housing units in Windhoek, which are 362, and 24 in Opuo, while the balance of those housing units are developed under the Shack Dwellers Federation of Namibia across 14 regions. As part of our infrastructure response to urban safety, phase 1 of the police village project, focusing on bulk services such as water, electricity, sewer, and the road, has been successfully completed. The police village will not only provide decent housing, but also help stabilize and strengthen law enforcement presence in our community. Then we come to the formalization of informal settlement. This is actively progressing in Windhoek, Walvis Bay, Rundu, Kentmans, and Oshakati. A total of 31 settlements are now undergoing formalization. Land servicing in Bluefields area of 10,000 events has also commenced, 5,000 in Windhoek, 1,250 in Walvis Bay, 1,250 in Rundu, 1,250 Oshakati, and 1,250 in Kentmans, improving access to basic infrastructure and paving the way for future development. Then we come to improve sanitation services. Access to sanitation has significantly improved. During the period under review, a total of 1,019 toilets were completed, which includes 76 in Omsati, 164 in Oshana, 33 in Kavango West, 203 in Ochodonjupa, 16 in Omaheke, 30 in Kunene, 43 in Erongo, 207 in Ohangwena, 17 in Hardap, 15 in Karas, 180 in Oshkoto. Then we come to strengthening subnational governance. In June 2025, the Line Ministry held consultative meeting with all regional and local authority council to enhance governance, accountability, and decision-making at sub-national level. In addition, special investigations were conducted into land governance at Katima, Mulilo, and Bukalo. Those investigations led to the implementation of remedial measures to regulate land transaction and strengthening record keeping. Fellow Namibians, for the above discussed priority sector to achieve their desirable outcome, they will be supported by economic enablers. In this context, I will now provide the progress report on critical economic enablers as follows. Mining. In pursuit of increased national ownership and value addition, the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy has started to develop a policy on mandatory minimum percentage local equity participation in all new mining ventures. Currently, efforts to legislate minor beneficiation are being advanced with technical support from the African Development Bank, Africa Legal Support Facility, which always provide legal assistance to African governments. Furthermore, initial consultation have commenced with the Bank of Namibia, regarding the establishment of the National Gold Reserve, National Gold Reserve, with attended legislation framework currently underway. Enabler energy. A key milestone during the reporting period was the finalization and presentation of the Namibia's Energy Compact at the Africa Energy Forum in Cape Town, South Africa, in June 2025, which enabled access to concessional funding for national energy initiative. Several level agreements were concluded with 7 regional electricity distributors, thereby facilitating rollout of rural and pre-urban electrification projects across the country. Significant progress was recorded in the renewable energy infrastructure, namely BA, grid connection of 10 megawatt Khan solar photovoltaic project. B, commencement of the construction on the 40 megawatt Oshkoto biomass and 100 megawatt solar PV plant. And number C, the NAMPower engineering procurement and construction bid for 120 megawatt solar PV generation. D, development of energy by local communities and stakeholders across the tourism value chain, the generating 171 Namibian dollars in state revenue. Yeah, million. 107, Omusati 9, Ochodonjupa 20, Zambezi 60, 6, Zambezi, 6, please, Zambezi 6, Kavango West 7, and Kunene 11. And number B, 35 of currently we allowing for renewed focus on the sector's growth and stability with good number of fishermen employed. As part of ongoing feasibility study on the establishment of the national airline and upgrading of the Hosea Kutaku International Airport. In addition to the roads already under construction, during the period under review, the following has been achieved. In rural areas, construction of low-volume sealed roads and gravel road is ongoing in Zambezi, Ohangwena, Kavango East, Kavango West, Omsati, Oshkoto, and Ochodonjupa regions. Then key legislative development. During my maiden State of Nation address on the 24th April 2025, I called on you, the public, to make submission on any law that you consider to be a hindrance to service delivery. The response was very positive, and those laws are now on the dashboard at the Ministry of Justice and Labor, where they are receiving the attention they deserve. And I want to thank you, fellow Namibians, for responding to my call. Over and above those identified through the public call, several priority bills have progressed, with 2 already tabled for debate in the National Assembly. And these are the Land Bill and the Regional Council Amendment Bill, while others are at a different stage of law-making process. Fellow Namibians, the government activities are far-reaching, covering a wide range of areas. Some of those might not have been mentioned in our priorities, but they are part and parcel of priorities. Disability mainstreaming and integration of marginalized communities. What do we do? A, through the Students with Disability Grant programs, during the period under review, 140 students were approved for funding to cover tuition fees. At the same time, over 2,900 learners from marginalized communities received transport assistance. B, in support of persons with severe disabilities, over 370 assistive items were distributed across 7 regions of Erongo, Ochodonjupa, Oshkoto, Oshana, Hardap, Karas, and Kunene. And service access also expanded through land allocation to provision of wheelchair and sunscreen distribution for persons with albinism. Number C, during the month of April and May 2025, over 30,000 households benefited from targeted food support program worth $34.7 Namibian. Well, Namibian. During the month of April and May 2025, over 32,000 households benefited from targeted food support program worth $34.7 million Namibian. While a national outreach for identity documents for marginalized community was launched in June this year. In the area of national security, the counter-terrorism, the Namibian police force has successfully established the National Counter-Terrorism Center in June 2025, enhancing our capacity to prevent and respond to potential threats. The government is committed to laying a digital foundation for long-term transformation and service delivery. The digital legal identity model governance framework has been established to drive implementation of electronic identity document in Namibia. On the 26th June 2025, we successfully launched the public awareness program and foster stakeholder collaboration. Fellow Namibians, we have recorded a high prevalence of drug-related crime. Drug trafficking and substance abuse remain among the most pressing social challenges causing drug menace to our nation. The Namibian police force will continue to intensify patrol in the fight against drug and human trafficking. Police efforts are complemented by the launch of the Hash and GBV Namibia campaign by the Ministry of Gender Equality and Child Welfare in collaboration with MICT on the 4th of June 2025. To maintain our territorial integrity, the security cluster conduct regular surveillance and patrol along the territorial land, air and marine borders, including along Chobe and Zambezi River. Additionally, the Namibian Defense Force rendered assistance to evacuate flood victims in distributing drought relief aids to communities in the affected regions during period of flood. I also wish to report that the process of according veteran status has resumed. The process of according veteran status has resumed. And the following has been achieved. A, 405 veterans have received notification of their successful applications granted by the Veteran Appeal Board. Maybe your letters on the way. B, 218 applicants were vetted during May 2025 and are due to receiving their improvement of welfare grant by the end of this month. C, under the Individual Veterans Project Scheme, 62 veterans received their once-off cash grant for the project in June 2025. An internal verification process are at an advanced stage to disburse the project grant for remaining 315 eligible beneficiaries. The government undertakes to ensure that payment of the once-off lump sum is affected to all beneficiaries who have been notified during the current financial year. In regards to defense industry, the Line Ministry convened an engagement with key stakeholders of the August 26 Group Company on 21st June 2025 to evaluate the performance of the industry and to come up with institutional reforms that will capacitate the defense industry with the aim of improving performance. Those developments reflect our unwavering commitment to innovation, security, and excellent public service. Fellow Namibians, the past 3 months, we have established a strong foundation in the offices. However, we agree considerable work remains to be done, and NDP6 is the roadmap. Going forward, the Prime Minister, ministers have to provide the regular progress report to the nation on their respective sectors. And as your president, I count on your concerted efforts. All Namibians, including the youth, academia, civic organization, business communities, church, traditional authorities, and our development partner in this road. Let us continue to work together, united by a common purpose and a shared vision to overcome challenges and build a more inclusive, united, and a prosperous Namibia. Fellow Namibians, having now account for the work of 3 months in the office, it's now my singular honor to officially launch the 6th National Development Plan 2025-2030 and ask all of you to come on board. It is our plan. It is workable. It can be done. I am sure you are all committed. We are all determined. We are going to make it. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you for your support.
Let's continue giving Her Excellency a round of applause. Thank you very much,